I heard the health care question come up, and of course right across the street from us is the campus of Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. And this was just in the paper here yesterday. 1 in 7 people uninsured, and this particular ad tells people to vote with this issue in mind. What do you say? What are we going to do about health care in this country?
I think the best thing we can do for the uninsured is to make insurance affordable. It's too high. It costs too much. We're going to have to empower people and open up the markets. That's what it amounts to. It works in every other aspect of our society. We've got to improve the markets. We've got to open it up. People can buy their insurance from anywhere in the country. And we've got to give people a tax situation where they're not tied to their employment, where they can buy their own insurance, where they can fit their own needs. A lot of people just want catastrophic health insurance, and they could buy that and save an awful lot of money on health insurance if that's the route that they chose. And they would be able to move their insurance with them from job to job as they move. So, you know, you either turn to the government and let them take it over. They can set prices for you. Or you can empower the individual to do it for themselves through the tax code. That would be my alternative.
I heard you use the term, not everyone needs a Cadillac plan, I believe you said.
Yeah, that's right. You know, it's like everything else. You know, those who need help in this country get help and should get help. But those who have the opportunity of making their own choices should be able to make those choices. And a lot of young, healthy people would choose to have catastrophic coverage and maybe some additional assistance, a medical savings account that would help them with day-to-day expenses and so forth. But stuff in between, you know, they could cover themselves and save an awful lot of money in the process.
I'm interested in hearing what you think of the speech that Mitt Romney's going to give on Thursday about his faith. That has kind of bugged him in this campaign, and people have pushed him to talk about it more openly. Do you feel the need for all of you who are in this race to talk about your faith and lay it on the line, what you believe, what you don't believe?
Well, you wind up talking about your faith because of the campaign questions that you get along the way. Everybody has that opportunity. I think people want to know where a person is coming from, and I'm not sure exactly what Governor Romney is going to do. I noticed in the paper today he says he was not going to give a Kennedy-type speech, so I'll wait and see what he has to say and let him speak for himself. That's a very personal issue, but it's also an issue people are interested in, and you know, he's got a right to say what he wants to in his own words, and we'll just wait for that.
There's an item in Sunday's Miami Herald that contains this statement about you. It says he hinted he'd have to win South Carolina or come close to it to remain competitive. Tell me, is South Carolina a do-or-die state for you?
I wouldn't call anything do or die, but it's very, very important. There's no question about it. I consider South Carolina part of my neck of the woods and hope South Carolinians feel the same way about it. So it's very important to me, and I'm showing it the attention and giving it the time that's consistent with that.
How do you feel like you're going to do down here?
Well, evidently I'm doing pretty well. Nobody knows what the end result's going to be on these things. All the experts, you know, try to call the game after about 3 quarters. But these states are very volatile, these early primary states. A lot of people haven't made up their minds yet. But from all the objective indicators that all the politicians and all the pollsters look at, you know, I've been running at the top in South Carolina for a long time, and near the top, and I expect to wind up there.
I've heard Rush Limbaugh and some other commentators saying that with the improving news out of Iraq, that maybe the war won't be the issue that it looked like it was going to be, that it may come down to the economic issue one more time. Yeah. How do you see the race? Is it going to be that way?
Well, I thought you were going to quote Rush when he said the other day that looked like I was about the only real conservative in the race. But, yeah, it very well could be economics. Nobody knows what the future holds, but we've had a good 6 years economically. Usually you have a little downturn in there somewhere, 1 or 2. So it wouldn't be a shock to anybody if we have a little lessening of growth. I don't think a whole lot of people expect us to go into recession or anything like that, but you know, any kind of a blip in the economy one way or the other is cause for concern, especially in an election year. But I think the other part's especially true. I think that there is good news out of Iraq. I think even some of the detractors are having to admit that now. We have a chance of bringing our folks, starting to bring our folks home as a part of a success scenario instead of leaving in defeat, which I think would make it much, much more dangerous for the United States of America if we did that.
There's news about Iran as well, that perhaps it has stopped its nuclear weapons plan 4 years ago. How worried are you about Iran?
That's a bizarre situation. I'm concerned about them. They're not a normal nation state. It's a religious, zealot-based kind of fanaticism that they feel like that they have a mandate, you know, to destroy us and Western civilization, I think. And they don't mind if a few million people die in the process. Those mullahs have said so in so many words. Our intelligence indicates maybe they have dropped their program. Our intelligence, of course, doesn't have a very good track record right now, unfortunately. It's got to get a lot better. So we've got to continue to learn what we can. But it wouldn't surprise me if this wasn't a diversionary tactic by the Iranians themselves for our benefit. So we've got to watch that situation very closely.
However many minutes you and I have been talking here, the national debt has grown about $1 million each of those minutes. I believe the last estimate here is about $9 trillion. What are you going to do to put the brakes on that?
Reform our entitlement programs, cut wasteful spending, cut the bridges to nowhere, veto bills that contain that junk. All those things have got to be done. No question about it. Republicans have been negligent in that respect, because people expect us to be the defenders of responsible fiscal policy. I don't think they expect that out of Democrats. They're going to spend every dime they can get their hands on, including the money of the future generations. People expect more out of us, and they have a right to do so. And as president, I'd put the brakes on all that.